After a failed attempt in 2024, when ferry strikes from Quebec forced us to turn back, this year we set out with unfinished business. On July 25, 2025, the mission was clear: complete the Trans-Labrador Highway once and for all. Our route was ambitious, first crossing Newfoundland, then riding north to L'Anse Meadows before doubling back for the ferry to Labrador. From there, we'd follow the coast and ride the legendary Trans-Labrador Highway through to Quebec. Finally, we'd continue into the Maritimes, exploring New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, and Nova Scotia before catching the ferry home to Newfoundland. Over 5,000 kilometers of road, rugged landscapes, and an adventure to remember forever.
What is it, 8 degrees? It's a chilly one. Huh? No, 8 or 9 degrees, yeah. But it is clear and it's coming this way, so. At least we're riding out of it, not into it. And we're off to catch the ferry in St. Barb. We got a reservation for the 10:30 ferry, so we should be in pretty good shape. Should have lots of time to get there. We need to be there an hour beforehand, but we got a reservation, so.
We left L'Anse Meadows bright and early at 7 a.m., ready to catch the 10:30 ferry from St. Barb to Blanc-Sablon. It was a chilly morning, just 8 degrees, and overnight rain had left the roads a little slick. With rain gear on to break the wind and heated grips keeping our hands warm, the ride to the ferry was surprisingly comfortable and scenic, at times hugging the coastline along Route 430. Funny enough, yesterday's detour to L'Anse Meadows actually carries us about 140 kilometers past the ferry we needed today. But that Viking site had been on my bucket list for years, and coming this far, there was no way I could pass it up. On paper, today's ride wasn't long, just a few hundred kilometers. But between the ferry crossing, a handful of stops, and the views along the way, it was shaping up to be a full day. That's the beauty of travel, especially on a motorcycle. It's not about how far you go, but what you see and feel along the way. And what a day to be here. Clear skies, bright sun, the kind of weather you almost never count on in this corner of the world. We knew we were lucky, and we soaked up every minute of it. As we approached the coast, we could see the ferry just offshore, carving its way across the strait towards the terminal. That sight alone made the trip feel real. Labrador was just a short crossing away.
It turned out to be a sunny day.
Once on board the ferry, the first task was strapping down the bikes. Never something you want to rush. With everything secure, we headed up to the deck. The crossing is just 36 kilometers, but takes nearly 2 hours. Time to lean on the rail, breathe in the sea air, and watch the coastline slip by. Newfoundland is known for unpredictable weather, and the Northern Peninsula and Labrador most often live up to that reputation. When you plan these trips months out, you never know what the weather will be, but today we were lucky. The ferry ride itself was perfect. The sun came out, the waters of the Strait of Belle Isle were calm, and we spent most of the journey out on the deck, soaking up the views. It was shaping up to be a great day. Once we docked in Blanc, technically on the Quebec side of the border, we began an 87-kilometer coastal ride to Red Bay. Of course, no ride into Labrador would be complete without a stop at the legendary Welcome to the Big Land sign. A quick photo, big smiles, a rite of passage for anyone crossing into this wild part of Canada. Our next stop was the Point Amour Lighthouse, perched high on the limestone cliffs along Labrador's south coast. Built in the late 1850s, it's the tallest lighthouse in Atlantic Canada and has been guiding ships through the Strait of Belle Isle for more than 150 years. After a quick stop at the lighthouse, we fired the bikes back up and rolled on. The road ahead hugged the coastline, one of those stretches you just can't wait to see more of. Despite living in Newfoundland all my life, this was my very first time crossing into Labrador, and the ride from Blanc-Sablon to Red Bay did not disappoint. Isolated, rugged, and absolutely beautiful. Within minutes, I had the feeling we've arrived. This is what riding across Labrador is all about. We are finally here, doing it. Our next stop along the way was the Pinware River Bridge, constructed in 1966. There was no walkway for pedestrians, but we gambled that early morning traffic would be light, and we dashed out into the middle for a quick look, and even managed to get a few drone shots. The black flies, however, weren't nearly as friendly, and we didn't linger. We quickly got back on the road and headed towards Red Bay. By the time we neared Red Bay, the skies had cleared completely, opening up to a perfect blue Labrador sky. Finally, we arrived in Red Bay by mid-afternoon and checked into the Strand House, a converted storage building on the waterfront. Its interior had been renovated into comfy accommodations, but the exterior still preserved the historic charm of the town. No visit to Red Bay would be complete without a stop at the Whalers Museum, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Red Bay was once one of the busiest whaling stations in the world. Basque whalers traveled across the Atlantic to hunt whales here. They built ovens along the shore, rendering whale oil that would light the lamps of Europe. Even today, traces of their ships and wharves rest beneath these waters. Centuries later, and half a world away, another whaling tradition gave rise to a sea shanty known as the Wellerman. It tells of supply ships bringing sugar, tea, and rum to whalers off the coast of New Zealand. Different oceans, different times, but the same story of survival and endless struggle against the ocean. Here over Red Bay, that story still lingers in the air.
There once was a ship that put to sea, and the name of the ship was the Billy of Tea. The winds blew hard, her bow dipped down, oh blow me bully boys blow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. She had not been 2 weeks from shore when down on her a right whale bore. The captain called all hands and swore he'd take that whale in tow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Before the boat had hit the water, the whale's tail came up and caught her. All hands to the side, harpooned and fought her when she dived down low. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. No line was cut, no whale was freed, and the captain's mind was not on greed, but he belonged to the whaleman's creed. She took that ship in tow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go.